Hey guys, welcome back to On the Throne. We're going to talk about the Season 2 finale, Valar Morghulis.
I'm glad you got to say that, not me. Yeah.
I'm not going to say it again.
Right.
It was a busy episode, and I know you mentioned, we were talking about it earlier, that some of the episodes this season that touched on every single character felt overly busy. This one did, but the 10 extra minutes helped, and we did really need to revisit everyone.
Yeah, there were episodes
before we left.
There were episodes this season where we thought, you know, we could have saved that Dany or Jon scene for next week. We didn't really need to see them for that one scene that wasn't that important. This time, when we went to each character, it was for a major reason. Something definitely was happening with all of them. Either a new character interaction or something very big in their lives which was changing.
And aside from, say, Jon Snow's scene, which did have a powerful scene, like a quick fight and then a big vision of, you know, an image of Mance Rayder's army, that was the quickest thing, I think.
Yeah.
Everything else, you spent like 7 to 10 minutes with them. So it was like little chapters within this finale, and it really set up Season 3 really well, as well as wrapped up Dany's story. And she seems to be the one who, when it comes to the season finale, gets the big, you know, moment. Her story still needs to be resolved.
Yeah, and you know, Dany, you know, she didn't have the strongest story this season, especially compared to Season 1, but a lot of good material here, and definitely very cool to see Khal Drogo again, which was a nice surprise.
Nice surprise, even for those who have read the books, to see Momoa back as Drogo, and like you said, Season 1, it was a great arc for her character. That was good. I think that was an important moment for her to see that and move past her past, in a sense. Made a great statement for her character now. It tethered her back to the Daenerys we knew in Season 1 and helped shape her story a little bit this season. And of course, there's nothing cooler than a girl with her arms chained and dragons spitting fireballs from behind her. So.
Yeah, I mean, a year ago we saw the dragons born, so why not have them roast some dude alive this week, you know?
And then moving on to Theon. Theon, I would say, had another big, powerful moment, or Winterfell in general was probably the next big moment in this episode, the burning of Winterfell and the death of Maester Luwin, who I think his death really hit me hard, and I think that it's a credit to the series that they did such a good job of setting up his character so well. Hit me harder than the actual shot of Winterfell smoldering.
Yeah, I'd agree, especially if you were to ask people who's your favorite character in Game of Thrones, he would come up 20th maybe, you know? He's not going to come to mind, but then it was a very touching scene there, you know, and with him with the kids, everything asking Osha to help, you know, finish him off. I thought it was all great.
People were wondering what Theon's men did to him, and essentially it was set up in a previous episode that Robb told the army that was coming to Winterfell, which is Lord Bolton's bastard son's 500 men. He said, all I want is Theon.
Yeah.
And tell his men I'll let them go if they just give him, and they'll give him up.
Yeah, so we didn't see that on camera. We have to assume someone got the message to the army, and that's not too big a leap to make that happened. They just needed to tell one guy, we'll let you all go. Just turn in this guy you don't like. And it was already very established they don't like Theon.
Yeah, as most of us don't like Theon.
Right.
But even before that, it was a great scene between Luwin and Theon.
It was.
Even more sympathy for Theon, I think, given just him recognizing and growing up, actually worshiping a place like Winterfell as a place where people who lived in this place were loved and respected. And that's you realize he really wanted it all. He wanted to be loved and respected by the North and by his father, and to sort of take over Ned Stark's spot in Winterfell.
Yeah, and by the way, they joked about it on the show, but he did get a great speech before he got knocked out.
It was a great speech.
It was in a different, if Theon was perceived differently by his men, that would have gotten them to die with glory and honor, but instead they...
He did get to say that line that you see in so many movies of, like, what we do is going to echo through eternity and all that stuff. And then the name of the episode, which I'm not going to say again, but there was the line that Jocund told to Arya before he gave her a lovely parting gift.
Yes, and revealed that he was like a Zartan type, I'm wearing a G.I. Joe shirt, apropos, a master of disguise.
Faceless man, as he called himself, also from Bravos, just like Syrio Forel. Seemed to really intrigue Arya. She really wants to know how Jocund does what he does.
Yeah, and it is important to note that these two very important men in her lives are from the same place, a place that's foreign to her, but now has a lot of significance.
And Jocund is no more. So again, like Syrio, like Jocund, you know, we're going to miss these people who are guiding Arya along her journey, these mentors, and you know, hopefully the future brings on more mentors.
Yeah.
Then we've got to touch on Tyrion, who some people who hadn't read the books, and it's a credit to the episode Blackwater, thought that Tyrion could be dead.
It's a credit to the show in general that we think that they might actually go through with that too.
I mean, look, it was a great episode for Tyrion, and it would have been a great send-off had he died. Unfortunately, he's still alive, I guess you could say, unfortunately, because he's been demoted. He now lives in a King's Landing broom closet. He's got a horrible slash across his face.
Yeah, very, you know, I thought it was very poignant when he's told, you know, that no one is going to acknowledge what no one's going to even talk about you in the future but we know, a select few of us know what you did and how important you were to protect this place.
You don't have your job anymore. You don't have your quarters. You don't have any of your guards.
Yeah.
You're gonna probably just and people actively want to kill you here.
Yeah.
So, but he's got Shay, and I think that was a good moment, a good scene for me personally, because that was the first time that I saw his love, which we saw in Profess in an earlier episode, reciprocated.
Yeah.
You know, from Shay, who slowly has become, has grown on me. I wasn't a big fan of hers in her portrayal on the series to begin with, but her sort of her tough attitude has sort of won me over.
Yeah, no, I'm this, and we've talked about it. I'm similar with her. I wasn't completely sold on their relationship as being as important as it seemed like we were supposed to, but this was a very nice scene there, and her decision to stick by with him no matter what.
Now we have to talk about zombies.
Yes.
Because we, did the Walking Dead series, so everyone out there knows what zombies look like, and they know what they look like when they're slowly walking towards something.
Yes.
But there was something to be said about the final episode of this season about zombies coming to Game of Thrones. We've seen them before, but not en masse like this,
Right.
not with missing jaws, not zombie horses.
Yeah.
And there's something about the snow that really adds to the ghoulishness of them.
No, it's great. I mean, yes, right now we're all going to mention Walking Dead because it's the only TV show with zombies that's on currently, and now there's a second with Game
And
of Thrones.
popular, yeah.
And popular. But the other thing is that I thought of Army of Darkness, by the way, just as far as an Army of the Dead, the horseback, the setting. So that was what really came to mind visually for me. But no matter what, whether you've seen both those things, none of those things, it looked cool. It looked cool and creepy. And yes, having zombie horses and the fact that it was a organized army, not just shambling zombies, that these are an organized army.
The White Walker on top of the undead horse was a great way to, and like you said, organized. He was commanding them, so he has this power over them to attack the Night's Watch. And again, Beyond the Wall is still such a mystery, and so this episode cleared up so much with, here's the army that they were going to find, the giant threat that they were actually going out there to find, Mance Rayder's army. And here's the other horrible thing that probably even tops that,
right?
Of why there's a Night's Watch in the first place,
Yeah.
is because of this undead legion of horribleness that's coming their way.
Yeah, and by the way, just to make it even worse, we know that Bran and Rickon are now on their way trying to get to Jon at the wall, but Jon's not at the wall, and something really horrible is going towards the wall.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a great setup for next season, but it's also a little frustrating at the same time, which is, what the series is all about.
Yes.
Now's the part on the throne when we give away a great product from the HBO store. That's store.hbo.com. This week, for the final giveaway prize, we've got a Season 2 sort of wrap-up cumulative shirt, which has the sort of Season 2 poster on the front, and on the back it's got the names of the 10 Season 2 episodes, so sort of a really cool way to cap off this giveaway. To enter to win this shirt, all you have to do is send us an email at winordie@ign.com and tell us your favorite part of this extra long, extra awesome season finale. We didn't get to talk about everything. Jaime and Brienne, Sansa being free of Joffrey. It's a very busy episode, but feel free on the boards below to talk about whatever you'd like. No spoilers, and we'll see you next year.